Hello Libra, and welcome to your reading for the week of November 20th through 26th, 2023. This reading is for you if you are a Libra Sun, a Libra Ascendant, Libra Moon, or have some other significant Libra placement in this chart. This may actually be for you. If you are returning to this channel, welcome back. It's good to have you back. If you are new to this channel, welcome in. And please remember to like and subscribe, and definitely leave me comments, whether you are a returning visitor or a new visitor, as to how this reading ends up resonating with you this week. While this is a reading for the week of the 20th to the 26th, if you are drawn to watch this at any other time, there still may be a message in here for you, so it is worth watching to the end. These readings cover they don't just cover love or don't just cover money. They cover a whole gamut of issues because they are done via an astrological spread. So the astrological houses cover most aspects of life, pretty much all of them. And we start with the cartouche cards, which are my Egyptian oracle that I've been using for years. And then I clarify them with a tarot card. And in this case, I'm using the Osho Zen Tarot. So let's see what we have for this week for you. Okay, so Libra, what do we have for you? What do we have for Libra for this week? What do they need to know? Please clarify the reading that we have in front of us from Cartouche. Okay. Wow, okay. Okay, and let's see what the overall is. Oh wow, you got three extra ones. And two of them are aces, so wow, this is quite a thing for you, Libra. So let's see what we have. Okay, so our first house this week, this has to do with your personality. This is Aries energy, how you present yourself to the world, how others see you. And also just what you are discovering about yourself. So we have the Ankh here. So this may be a time where you are trying to connect to the heart, through the heart rather than the head. I feel like this is about what needs to be done to truly be able to live your life, to truly be able to enjoy yourself, to feel alive, and to be loving yourself, really. A lot of this is about self-love too. And self-love is not a selfish thing. Self-love is something that we all need. You can't really love others unless you love yourself. Otherwise, all you're doing is projecting all the things you don't love about yourself onto other people. We have it with the letting go card. And letting go, yeah, this is the Eight of Water. And this suggests to me that you are, I feel like for this is indicating that this kind of self-love comes through letting go of the past, whether this has to do with personal trauma, family trauma, or just some related, outdated idea that you have about yourself. And it's time to lay it to rest and to move on, because yeah, it may be something you've clung to, maybe sometimes even with these bad ideas we have about ourselves, sometimes they're a safety or they're a protection. Sometimes our limiting beliefs, they say, oh, the problem is I can't do this, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. And therefore that becomes almost a kind of protection, like, well, I would do this, but I'm really not able. This is the type of limiting belief that I'm talking about. Not exclusively, but this is what I think of. It's just this idea of letting go of those hurts, those traumas, those ideas that we have about ourselves that are, they're just not serving us, and they're keeping us away from this self-love. So this is what your focus needs to be. Second house is Taurus, and Taurus is about your finances. It's about your possessions, material possessions, values. And this is your own money rather than other people's, okay? The 8th house covers other people's money. So we have water here with the morality card. Okay, so this has to do with money coming in and going out again just as quickly. I mean, water, yeah, this seems to indicate making money and then having expenses that kind of take it away right away. So you may be in this kind of, flowing in, flowing out type of mode with your money. Now with the morality card, which is the Queen of Clouds, this has to do with, the morality card comes up when we are judging ourselves very harshly. We may be making very harsh judgments about how we're making money, or about the amount of money that we have coming in, or we may assume that we don't have enough money. I feel like a lot of times this comes in when we're judging ourselves very hardly about how we're spending money. Judging hardly. That's not a correct phrasing of English. We're judging ourselves harshly. I think that's the word I'm going for here. This is almost a sense of, well, I should be saving my money. I shouldn't be spending my money on certain things. I need to make X amount of dollars to be able to make it in something. I need, or what I'm doing is not a good enough thing. I need to be doing something else, or I need to be making more money. This is all the moral stuff surrounding money and surrounding what we think of as success. Okay. And basically this is saying it's time to drop that. Okay. I also feel like in addition to this inflow-outflow business, and for some of you, maybe that's not what's going on, in which case that even more so emphasizes the idea of a change that needs to be made in terms of your ideas towards finance. Again, kind of like we have the Ankh up here, which says focus on the heart. Water is also a very emotional kind of occurrence. So again, when we're dealing with something material and we're bringing this emotional element in, it means we need to drop this very sharp, critical way of looking at ourselves. Again, there may be more of a thinking of the heart. And remember, this is also the house of values, okay? Because this is the area of Venus. So, we may be too hypercritical of everything. We may be too controlling. We may believe that we have to do things a certain way, at least in terms of our finances or making money. And this may be telling us, no, that we need to kind of flow into a new way of thinking and another way of doing things. Okay, third house is Gemini energy. Gemini has to do with communications, messages that are coming in, short journeys, things like that. So this card is, okay, so this brings in messages from people, and this can also have to do with business if it has to do with self-effort. Sometimes it has to do with siblings or your neighborhood or things like that. In any case, this is all things that are ruled by Gemini. This also connects to, short journeys. But mainly I find this house has to do with messages coming in and with business if you are self-employed. We've got Crook and Flail with the Abundance card. So Crook and Flail to me is about getting organized, getting legal affairs in order. If you are a business, maybe this is time to get your taxes together or to do something like that. This also often indicates a step up a boost in confidence, a boost in visibility for some reason. This could be a message coming in from somebody in authority, although again, this is somebody who's in the right. This is not say the police knocking on your door to arrest you. It's not that kind of energy. This is more the energy of, something coming in, something that is right for you to have. It can also mean a truth that's coming in too, because I feel like this has a lot of connection to the Justice card. But abundance is good news because this seems to indicate, I feel like it does mean abundance coming in for you, whether that be material abundance or otherwise. So this is kind of a good news that something that may increase your visibility, or or something that where you feel like you've received a step up in whatever it is that you are trying to do. And again, it's interesting because this is called the Zorba the Buddha card in this deck. So it's a guy who is both a sensualist and also has the spiritual aspects of the Buddha. So this is this idea of, and it is the King of Pentacles, which by the way is a really good card for somebody who is in their own business. So this is the idea of blending our sensual pleasures, the idea of wanting to enjoy life and so forth, with the kind of aestheticism and discipline that may be required to hold something together, to the kind of discipline, the kind of responsibility and discipline that we need to have with something and being able to enjoy ourselves at the same time. So far I'm seeing, Libra, that what you're balancing here, the scales that you have, so to speak, is that you are trying to balance the head and the heart here, and there's definitely telling you to move more away from critical judgments and maybe very aesthetic ways of doing things and moving more towards the heart and towards enjoyment. Okay, fourth house, this is Cancer energy, and this is the house of, this has to do with the home and the family, sometimes specifically with the mother, and also can have to do with your own sense of security. And wow, you've got the Twins and you've got the Fool. So the Twins indicates the involvement of another person. So whether this is a family member, whether this is somebody who's going to be moving in with you, there's a sense of involving another person in either a family affair or something connected to your home. And you have it with the Fool. So there's this idea of taking a risk. Now that's interesting because the Fool is a card of freedom. So a lot of sometimes it would indicate, like, say, freeing yourself from a situation that involves another person. But this, I feel like this is more like taking a risk with another person, okay? So I don't know. I feel like this may be, you may, or really you may be taking a risk at something. Maybe you're planning on making a move. Maybe you're going to have a new roommate. Maybe there's something going on with family, or you're getting the help or support of family in some way. But there's this idea of taking a risk and having support, okay? That's kind of what I feel overall in general, depending on how this is going to apply to you for this reading. But yeah, there's definitely the sense of some kind of support coming in and taking some kind of a risk. Fifth house is Leo energy, and so this has to do with our creativity. It has to do with potentially with children, if you have children, if you are in a love affair, or you are thinking about getting involved with somebody, or you're dating someone, and in that kind of situation, or you want to, that may apply in this house. Again, those other aspects are not obviously for everyone. But we have the Sphinx with the Nine of Rainbows, the Ripeness card. So yeah, Nine of Rainbows to me is a card of being secure in yourself, like being single. But in this particular house, I mean, so this could indicate that you have been kind of withdrawn. Sphinx is someone who is not necessarily putting themselves forward. They may be waiting and seeing about a particular thing. Although with the Ripeness card, it almost indicates that some of this fruit is just about to drop. Something is about to come into your life. But this is also a card of singleness, so I don't know. And I feel like here, if it has to do with, I'm not feeling children very strongly. I mean, obviously, if you feel that it applies to a child or a child in your life, that situation, you can tell me so in the comments. But I'm feeling this may have a bit more to do with either a love affair or a creative project, because I almost feel like there's something you're waiting for that's just about to happen. I think that's the way I want to read these two together. You're waiting for something that's just about to happen. This fruit is just about to drop. So it's either a project that you're working on that could be very successful, or if you have been wanting to get involved with somebody and it's not been happening, this may be saying, well, just sit back and wait right now. There's no need to take action. You're going to see where this ripe fruit kind of drops into your lap. So yeah, take that as it feels right to you. Okay, sixth house is Virgo energy. This has to do with health, healing, and also with work or jobs. This is a house of work in the sense of work that you do for other people. It may or may not be connected to your career. And okay, so we've got totality here. So this is the idea that you are very completely engrossed in and focused on something, or if you're not, that perhaps you should be. There's definitely the sense of, usually this is a card, Five of Wands or Five of Fire is usually a card of competing with others, but here we see actually two people working together. You see the trapeze artists, one reaching out and grabbing the hands of the other person, but it is a very delicate and potentially dangerous operation because you don't want either person or both of them to fall down. So there is this kind of, this very focused energy here, but you have it with Urias. So this indicates to me that this either has to do with a job. If you've been worried about health, this could indicate that there's something going on that, maybe is not what it appears to be. This can also, again, or it has to do with a worry. Like you may be looking at a situation and not seeing it the way that it actually is. Because Urias usually indicates that something is either, I don't want to say not obvious exactly, but just not what we think. And oftentimes I find that's actually a good thing, because oftentimes we are very worried about situations and we see them as far worse than what they are. And Urias is saying, no, there's factors here that you're just not seeing. So again, whether this applies to a health situation, to a job that you're at, like some kind of situation that you're worried about, or just worries in general. Yeah, I feel like there's a need to focus your attention very strongly on one thing that you're doing, and understand that there's some things that are going on right now that are going to reveal themselves and may not be what you expect. But as they often say, it's not what I expected, but it may be what I needed. So yeah, so keep an eye on things that might be going on there. I just feel like if you have made a decision that a situation is a certain way, this may be telling you, well, there's a bigger picture here, or there's something you're not seeing. So this is something that may come across as unexpected that's going to be revealed, or there could be an unexpected obstacle to something but you may be actually closer to what you're trying to get than you think. Okay, 7th house, this is your house, Libra energy. So this has to do with partnerships. It has to do with legal arrangements, legal relationships, so business partnerships, and also marriages, if you happen to be married. So we have Anubis with the 10 of Wands, or the suppression card, okay? So yeah, this could be a relationship that feels overwhelming. For some people, this may be a situation where you may feel that you need protection or need to just protect yourself, even just in the sense of setting boundaries. I feel like you may be in a situation where you're doing too much for another person, or you may feel overwhelmed, or maybe you even need the help of another person. I don't know. It can go either way, but there's some sense here. And suppression can also indicate in a relationship where one person maybe feels that they can't express themselves, okay? So they're kind of stuffing it all down, and there's the potential for an explosion there. Now, I don't know. Again, that could very individually apply to somebody, whether it has to do with a marriage, a business situation, or what. But there's definitely this sense of holding something down and trying to maintain boundaries right now. So I'm not sure. I don't know if this is not something that's going on between you and a spouse, assuming you have a spouse. And if you don't have a spouse, then this could just be, if you're thinking about getting into a serious relationship with someone, this may indicate that there's a situation where someone needs to maintain their boundaries, or somebody may be taking on too much. It can also even just mean that you have a spouse that's taking on too much right now. So yeah, there may be a need here to drop some things and keep boundaries up as far as a particular relationship goes, whether it's a marriage or some other kind of relationship that is significant. 8th house is Scorpio energy, and Scorpio is the house of transformation and other people's money. Now we have the Sirius card with healing. So for some people, this is, well, I don't know. Okay, Sirius is the card of being innovative, thinking outside the box. It could indicate that this has been a period of time where you feel tired, especially seeing this card right here before it. I mean, yeah, there just seems to be this sense of being kind of tired, needing to have the strength to kind of pull through for something. For some people, it could literally be a physical, being physically tired. But this is definitely a card of trying to think about a different way to do things. We could be wearing ourselves out by doing things in a way that's just sapping us of our energy. And right now is definitely, we have the healing card here. This is the King of Water. So yeah, this definitely feels like this is a time for healing for you right now. And so I think what this is that you may want to take a broader perspective, see a situation differently, see your way of doing things differently, because you need to be able to take time out to back off and to heal. That may also be why you need this Anubis card comes up. There may be a need for a little bit of protection of the self, a little bit of the shell, on the outside of the tortoise kind of a thing, where you're, allowing yourself to regain your strength and to heal here. So yeah, you may be going through a healing time, whether it's physically, emotionally, and the fact that I'm seeing these other cards about head, heart, not head. I feel like, this could be connected to a job situation or something where you are, it doesn't have to be a job, by the way, but it might be, and where you might be experiencing a lot of stress or stressing yourself out. 9th house is Sagittarius. This has to do with long journeys, long distance travel. It can have to do with higher education, universities, things like that. It can also have to do with larger institutions like churches and things like that. Things that have to do with your philosophy of life or your spirituality, whether in an organization or not. Wow, and you've got Seth card here. So Seth is the bringer of storms. And we also have the 9 of Swords, which is sorrow. So yeah, there's something going on here. This may be sorrow connected to a journey or a trip. It could be something connected to school or education. Maybe you're in school and you're having some difficulties, or feeling, bad about something, maybe making some decisions. Or maybe there's there could literally be a higher ed institution that you feel is causing you stress or letting you down. Now, I always draw a second card for Set, and we have Osiris here. So this is about stability, relying on your own judgment, taking control of a situation. So I don't know. When I see it with this card, I feel like there's a situation you're in where you are, I don't know, where you may be confronting a worry, or you may be trying to figure out how to get around an obstacle of a certain type. And when this card shows up, I almost feels like it's saying, You know, there's a certain amount of sorrow that has to be let go. Remember, we had the let go card over here in the first house. And this is often connected to things maybe that aren't happening, but that we worry are going to happen. In any case, there's definitely a need to let go of sorrow. This indicates that, you know, you're standing on stable and firm ground. It just, right now, I feel like there's other changes that are going on here that are perhaps making you feel overwhelmed. Perhaps there is a job situation that you're not seeing clearly. And this is just saying, you know, it's time to, this is a 9 card usually. So in fact, oh no, actually this is coming up as the, no, it is the 9. Okay. Yeah, 9 of Swords. So this is about releasing worries, releasing a lot of mental anxiety, being up in your head, so to speak, about something, things that are kind of leaving you in a mental tangle you want to let go of. And, you know, because, and just try to find a firm foundation here. This also does indicate that you are able to rely on your own judgment, that you are, you know, there's very strong either Aries or Sagittarius energy with that card. So there's definitely the sense of standing firm in your power. Okay, 10th house is Capricorn. So this has to do with your career, your fame, you know, how you appear to others. And you've got the Buckle of Isis. So yeah, I feel like there's work that's being done right now. You may be giving something up. Again, this could have to do with a job you're giving up. It could have to do with just something that you're working towards. It's more about career, more about the bigger picture, about what you have to offer, not what, not just say a job that you do to make money, right? This is about you, your reputation, what you have to offer. And I feel like you're making efforts right now. Maybe you're not sure whether or not they're going to pan out. And this is saying that, yeah, that efforts you are making right now will be rewarded. Now you have the Lover's card here, which, you know, can be a love card. But it can also, in this deck, I don't know. I mean, lovers often can indicate choices that you have to make. But it can also indicate partnerships. I feel like in this particular deck, it is more of a card of partnerships. And again, there's this love element. When I go back to here too, and even with the water card over here in the second, I feel like it's almost saying, you know, working with someone else towards doing what you love, you know? So you know, it maybe could potentially be with somebody you love too, but there's this idea of like partnering with somebody, and I don't know, maybe part of what you're giving up might be your sovereignty with something, in the sense of if you're the type of person who wants to do everything by yourself, this may be saying, you know, it's worth dropping some of that and letting somebody else help out. I don't know. I don't necessarily feel this has to do with love here, although for some people maybe it does. You know, if you are going into some kind of career thing with a partner or a spouse or somebody who you have a love relationship with. But I feel like there's just some choices to be made. I feel like this kind of indicates to me that you may have to make some decisions to move your career forward. But I think it's, I think those, basically it's saying whatever you're giving up right now, it's worth it in the end. Okay, 11th house is Aquarius energy. This has to do with friendships. It has to do with networks, your hopes and wishes. And we have Bastet here. So this is a card, I feel like very strongly this card today is about following your intuition. I mean, sometimes Bastet has to do with the arts, music, dancing, things like that. Bast can have to do with just happiness in general, being cautious with others, giving others their due. So yeah, so there's definitely, this is the idea of being kind of empathetic and sympathetic in friendship situations. But you have this control card too, the King of Clouds. So to me, this is almost a warning of don't become too controlling of your friends and your friends' situations. Or you know, even family situations. I mean, I feel like there's something here where you maybe are looking at someone's situation. Perhaps you are feeling very, very empathetic towards them, and maybe you want to step in and do something to fix it or to help or something. And this is saying no, you don't need to do that. So. Yeah, so you want to, so remember, you know, you want to be empathetic, be caring, be there for people, but don't try to take control of the situation. 12th house is Pisces energy. Excuse me. And Pisces has to do with, the 12th house is what you don't show other people. It's what's hidden. It's what you might be afraid of. And it's interesting because you have the Lotus card with the 7 of Water, which is the projection card. So I think you might be in a case where you are, you know, whatever your anxieties are, okay, and Lotus here does seem to indicate you may have some hidden anxieties. they may be projections. You may be looking at worrying about another person and what they're doing. Okay, maybe that's why you got let go of control here. But it might be saying what this really is a reflection of something that's going on within you, not so much about that other person. So pay attention to who might be really pushing your buttons right now, because I think they might give you a clue to what is making you anxious and what ails you here. Okay, overall, we have the winged disc, which is great, because ultimately, regardless of any opposition in this reading, you're going to be fine. Everything's going to come through, home and dry, as they say. Now, you got 3 other cards with it. So you do have the fighting card, so I do feel like you may have been very defensive lately. You may be, maybe you have been irritable. There is Mars and Scorpio right now, for a lot of people, depending on your Mars placement. This can indicate that you may be in a position where you're just getting tired and you feel like you're challenging people or being challenged all the time. But you got 2 aces here. You've got the Source and the Consciousness. So this is Ace of Swords and Ace of Fire, or Ace of Wands. So yeah, this is very, very strong new ideas and new beginnings coming in. Like, there's going to be some real sudden change here. And this change is going to, fix it. It's going to, whatever's not working right now, you can drop your need for control of things. You don't need to project onto the environment. You can focus on your heart and on what it is that you really want to do, and on your own healing, because there is something big and, new coming. There's something new coming in very, very soon. It's very weird that you've got 2 aces overall. And part of the reason you may be having some issues right now is perhaps because you are moving into a period of change and something new, and you are not, you're still clinging to something that's old. This is why it's telling you need to let go, because you are moving into a space that's more about you and what you need, rather than doing what everybody else tells you think you should be doing. That's it for me for this week. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.